Well, for me, being in Holland and West Michigan for the last just over 20 years, their name, their reputation.
I dragged Aaron to an open house, 2 houses down, on this rainy Saturday morning, and I just said, let's just go see. 2 hours later, we were chatting with Tom and asking him a lot of questions, and then we drove down the street to an open house that was probably, like 10 years old, maybe, that house? Maybe a little older than that, 5-10 years. And we were like, these are the same prices. So we were just kind of realizing the value in brand new versus something that's been lived in already.
Yeah, and I mean, Tom did a good job of answering all of my questions, having a father in construction for 45 years, and they're still living in the house I was basically born in, and so how do you build a house thinking 40 years down the line? And Tom could answer all my questions. So, he sold me on his and his knowledge, but I think to just, like Kendra said, to see what you could get in your own by building instead of then walking in and making concessions on an existing house. So, I mean, the first thing Tom encouraged us to do was not only look at the houses we had walked through, because there were 2 actually here in the neighborhood, but then look at their existing floor plans, and not as this is what we'll build you, but this is what's the palette to work with, what's the canvas. And so from there we took some pieces, we knew some things that we wanted for our own lifestyle. So really being able to go, okay, this is kind of what we're thinking. And then we were able to walk through some more houses and some different floor plans. I actually sent them an idea we had seen online. And then, we started kind of just going back and forth. What could we keep? What was some of the bones and structures? They allowed me to move some walls around, and here's what I'm thinking, and working with Jordan as, he could take my drawings and go, okay, yep, we could do this. Nope, we can't do that. I think taking the best of houses we saw, knowing what we wanted. We have 2 beautiful covered porches, but then also have a patio that is open to the sun, like things like that, where it was really easy. And they know, none of it I ever felt like they were pressuring us into going, well, this is what we do.
Yeah, and we kind of gave them ideas, and they came back with things, and it was more of a conversation. Yep. They really listened to what we were looking for, yeah.
And even at one point in time, I think Tom even said, yeah, our hope is just, let's do this together. And I'm like, yep, you keep winning me over every time you say that. So they knew our budget, and they were never going to press us into doing something more, because they had also been thoughtful enough and had listened, every step of the way, listening and knowing when I'd say, this is our bottom, they knew me enough to say, okay, yeah. They'll always give you options that's available if you want, but so Christy knew what would work within our budget and where we could give and flex. And then also counseled us, I think, in some decisions that were, okay, now, yes, this is a base thing, but if you want more long-term, then we would recommend going with this. And then you go, you know what? Yeah, thank you, because that is a high value, and that made more sense. So it's full service, not just simply how do we build a house, but how do we help you figure out what's your house worth, what's reasonable, what's workable, and I never felt like we had to make all these sweeping changes to our house just to sell it either. But then, to be able to go in the whole building process. I'm a very hands-on person, and so working with Scott, who was our project manager, I'm not in construction, so they're the experts, but I could trust that. And knowing that we really do have a quality home that isn't just look pretty on the outside, but its bones, its guts are made for the long haul, because we're planning on the long haul. So I think you're definitely going to get personal service, hands-on. Still, even now, as we're in the house, they're available to us. You know, any issues we have, any questions we have. You know, it's only a phone call away.